Peace to the God, this is man. About to do a quick little video. Shout out to the Cash App supporters for sending in those donations. Y'all already know who y'all are. Shout out to the Cash App support. I know it's been a minute since I did a vid, man. We out here in this COVID storm, fam. Gotta rack up on the minerals and that aquatic. So my body could be straight. I already know what it is. Yo, just gonna be chopping it up, man. I already know how we do, son. We just gonna be talking, to be talking, son. There's a bunch of videos I was gonna do, son, but I fell back, son. You know what I mean? Because the demons always trying to feed, but I got this covert channel right here, son. Don't nobody really know about this joint, son. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be uploading over here. But we gotta keep these demons off this channel, son. You know what I mean? Hurry up. So all they wanna do is feed. I already know how that yawn do, son. See what I was gonna talk about, son. Yeah, there was movies I was gonna talk about, situations and talk about. I was gonna go in depth on this COVID, talk about this. Talk about the Jesus Christ in the stimulus check form. You know what I mean? They got so many different Jesus Christs out here, son. They got the more freaking vaccine. They got the COVID. They got the PPE. Or the PPP, whatever they call it, man. The OPP. You down with OPP? You know what I'm saying? The UNITY. They got all these more freaking names for these Jesus Christs that's supposed to come through and save the people. Meanwhile, the people are dropping like flies out here in this mud. You know what I mean? Of course, they're going to pull the curtains back, man, because the energies, the energy is always coming to the planet, son. Don't think there's never a time when the energies is not coming to the planet. That's what they want you to assume. They want you to assume that you have to wait for some planetary alignment to get some kind of update. Nah, man. The update is constantly coming here for the gods because we, the souls, don't have to wait for time. You know what I'm saying? The humans got to wait for time and planetary alignments. It's like when you get a cell phone, you got to wait for the update. You know what I'm saying? When you buy these electronic devices, you got to wait till the host send you the update. You know, wherever the main tower is at, you got to wait for them to send the signal out to update your devices. That's how it is with the humans, man. But that ain't got nothing to do with us. We're not beings of time. We're not beings of alignment. We beyond all that, son. You know what I'm saying? You update yourself with a thought. The main energy that updates you is your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily energies that's coming from these celestial bodies out here in space. You know what I mean? Because you are of the energy that's out there, the real energy, the ether energy. You are of that. Where you think all these codes is coming from? These codes ain't coming from no moon. You know what I'm saying? They coming from the higher beings, man. Straight up. It get filtered. These signals you have signals that get filtered through the moon after, the sun rays shimmy off it. Then it get diluted and filtered out to the lesser dimensions. You know what I mean? But, yo, you do that with a thought. You update yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You update yourself. You ain't got to wait for no chakra chart, no navel chart. You ain't got to wait till asparagus is in the house of broccoli. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta wait till asparagus is in the house of broccoli, son. You know what I'm saying? Getting all caught up in the Ouroboros. All them zodiacs, man, represent the Ouroboros, man. The entire zodiacs represent a freaking Ouroboros, man. And they get caught up in it, son. But the souls is waking up though, son. There's a lot of souls on the planet that's waking up, son. For these clones, they always gonna be botting, son. They always gonna be with that Coptic simulation. Because there's nothing else for them, son. There's nothing else for them, son. That's why they cling to these simulations, because these simulations define their life, man. It defines their lives, man. Like social media, son. Now, there's certain people that I know or have met in the quote unquote real world. And these people are fragile. I'm gonna just say it like it is, son. They fragile in the sense because if you look at their social media, you would never. And again, if you on the wave, you know what it is. But for the average person who looks at social media and see all the followers and all stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? They would really think that these people is popping, son. They really think that these people is popping, but these people is like this is something that I've stated, that when you're looking at these social media outlets, man, they are like a recreation center for people who didn't make it in life. You know what I mean? In some instances, it's like a recreational area or a rest stop for people who didn't make it. You know what I mean? Just like how you got like I spoke about church. Church is basically there's many ways to decipher that, but it's basically a station for people who don't have what it takes to connect to the real God. So we have to give them a simulated God. You know what I'm saying? A false God. And it's a bunch of whole stations like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not only church. Like when you look at restaurants, people go out to eat. Those are people who love to eat out. They're like the wife or the woman, she can't cook. She don't have what it takes to really prepare meals, so they rather go out to a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And pretend that like this food came by way of them, because they operating under the illusion. Well, I bought this food, so it's my food. You know what I'm saying? They really act like this is something that they did. You know what I'm saying? Because they purchased it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the ability to create it. They purchase it. They live inside other people's lives. Like when you look at people say things like, when you here on this planet, you have to like live your dream. They'd be like, what is your dream? Like, what dreams do you have? They would say. And you would hear people say things, well, I have a dream that I want to be this, or I want to be that, or I want to be this, or I want to be that. But if you really was to sit down there and analyze what these people are saying about the dream, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have people out there that will say things like, what's your dream car, or what's your dream house, or your dream job? And these people will give you a list of different substances that they say represent their dream. Now, all of these things was created by somebody else. The car was created by somebody else. The job was created by somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Whatever profession is your so-called dream, that was all created by somebody else. But it's supposed to be your dream. Your dream is supposed to be something that is unique. You know what I'm saying? Your dream is supposed to be unique. It's supposed to be your own thoughts. You know what I mean? That has no relation to nothing else out here. That's how you know it's your dream. But if you saying that like you have a dream car or a dream job, you basically saying that, well, those on a wave will pick it up. But people, the average person is, they're not going to pick it up. But you basically saying that the individuals who created whatever you claim is your dream, make up your dream, they are the dream catchers. They basically caught your dream, downloaded it into you. In other words, they gave you their dream and disguised it as if it's your own. Whether that be your dream car, your dream house. You know what I'm saying? You didn't create it. How can it be yours if you didn't create it? In other words, how can it be your dream? That is somebody else's idea. You know what I mean? It ain't your dream. You know what I mean? So it's like when you looking at you know, these social media joints, and even with the dream, those are people who never clicked to reality, son. You know, it never clicked. It never clicked in it. You know, once it clicked, there is no unclicking. It never clicked with them what's really going on, son. You know what I'm saying? They basically living in someone else's imaginative thoughts or creations, and they get in the misconstrued that these are my thoughts. This is my dream. You know what I mean? They didn't have what it takes to make it in society or make it in life. So they got these rest stations. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? That give them this artificial description or presentation that they are somehow a celebrity. You on Facebook, you got 5,000 friends in the digital realm. You know what I'm saying? But when you come out here in this spiritual realm, even though it's all spiritual, you know what I'm saying? When you come out here in this physical spiritual realm, you got no friends. You know what I'm saying? Leave it up to you, the whole world hating on you. Every post you got people hating. You doing selfies, fronting, hating. Somebody hating this, somebody hating that. People don't want you to make it. Make it where? Somebody else's dream? You know what I'm saying? Make it where? In somebody else's dream. Somebody else created their own dream, and now because you don't have what it takes to make it in life, because in order for you to be able to make it in life, you have to be able to conjure up your own path. You have to be able to conjure up your own dreams. You have to be able to create your own. These people ain't creating nothing. They following pavements that has already been laid down. The road has already been made. You just walking on it. You know what I mean? Pretending that this is your path. That ain't your path. You know what I mean? That's like meridian lines that has been pre-sculpted in the ground. And the energy that's embedded in the ground is just following the pattern of the pavement. And you really think that you doing these footsteps or these movements independently. You're being manipulated on a whole nother level, man. A whole nother level. You know what I mean? So you're looking at you know, these social media sites, man, is basically spots for people who can't make it, who didn't make it in life, son. You know what I mean? That's why their life is, or when you see them on the gram or whatever, their life is such a fairy tale, son. It's so fake. You know what I'm saying? You know these people is fake when they say that things like they all about positive energy. Anybody who knows how energy behaves would never say that they all about positive or negative energy. You know what I mean? But they claim that they all about positive vibes. They all want positive vibes, meaning I want my brain to constantly release this dopamine so I could constantly keep feeling this way because I don't want to feel the other way. You know what I'm saying? These people are addicts. You know what I'm saying? They are addicts. Don't think that an addict is only someone, you know, because they programmed us to see addicts as drug addicts, and you got the people who sniff coke or smoke crack, or, you know, these alcoholics, or these lean sippers. You know what I'm saying? These people who is doing these drugs that you've been programmed to see or be familiar with. But when you're looking at these people who's all about positive energy, they addicts. Don't think that they not feeding, son. do not think for a second that these so-called people who claim that they all about positive energy and feeling happy and feeling great all the time, do not think for a second that these people don't have a demon on them. You know what I mean? I was doing the stream the other day, was talking about somebody up in there mentioned something about smoking bud. One of the characters up in there was smoking red ice. And I'm like, yo, he over there getting high while his little daughter is in the next room. And somebody up in there was talking about weed and started getting in a conversation about weed, talking about how that whole weed, that's a bunch of that's a bunch of hippie demons, man. That's hippie demons. That's disembodied hippies. You know, hippies that was once living, they died, and they attacked. Or should I say, they attached themselves on the so-called black race. They attached themselves on the so-called black race. You know what I mean? Because never was there ever a moment in time where the so-called black race was blowing so many damn trees. You know what I mean? When you look at them hippie festivals and things like that, they were the main ones who was always blowing trees. We wasn't blowing trees like that. If you pay attention, when the hippies started dying, that's when the trees started going up in the so-called black communities, huh? That's when the trees started going up. It was burning mad trees. And all of a sudden, it's like everybody in the damn hood blowing trees. You know what I mean? That's because they got all them disembodied spirits on them blowing the trees. They all got hippie demons. You know what I mean? A lot of the songs that these artists make when they high come by way of channeling spirits. When they high, the so-called high, smoking weed. That's a seance they doing, son. Those are seances. When they up in the studio and all that, they might not know that's what they doing. I mean, some of them know. But the majority of them, they don't really know what's going on. They like, yeah, I don't like to get high. You mean you like to pull in that spirit and have that spirit come inside your vessel. You know what I'm saying? And just use your vessel as an instrument to just pull in more demonic energy. You know what I mean? But when you're looking at these social media joints, man, these are just basically hubs for people who people who can't make it in life, people who didn't make it in life. So they looking at this as their last resort. You know what I mean? This is their last resort. They live for the gram. You know what I mean? You got people doing videos that's putting their lives in danger for the gram, because the gram now is like the platform. It is like the last platform that they have to actually quote unquote be somebody or quote unquote make it. If you look at a lot of these social media sites, it's actually showing you why the planet is in the effed up condition that it is in, son. You look at some of these people online, son. You would ask yourself, because it's like, you would ask yourself, like, in the last 15, 20 years, you'd be like, yo, where the hell these babies come from, son? You'd be like, where the hell these demon babies come from, son? Like, these, you know, these gang bangers, everybody out here doing all this drugs and these thoughts, you know what I'm saying, these whores. You'd be like, where the freak they came from, son? Look at the gram, son. Go look at the gram, son, and look at these so-called women. It ain't none of them women, but they all females. But just go look and see how they behave, man. Look and see, son. Just take a good look of these where these babies came from, son. Take a good look at it's like all over the planet. It don't matter what race it is. All over the planet, son. You know what I'm saying? All of these chicks is all based in lust. It's all based in lust. You know what I mean? Every single last one of them. You see how they move. You see how they animate themselves in front of the camera. They get all fake. It's like everything about them is so artificial, son. It is nothing powerful or nothing authentic coming through the womb of a female, period. But these chicks, it ain't nothing etheric coming out of them, son. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence these kids is running around here like they are, son. It's not a coincidence. Look what they came through, son. Look at the vehicles that they came through, son. You know what I mean? Just take a good look at them, son. See how these people move. See how these people behave, man. See how these people are willing to just do anything for a like. You know what I mean? Anything, son. These people, yo, it's corrupt. The system is corrupt, son. Corrupt. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, yo, it ain't about raising up everybody, son. You know what time it is. You raise your vibe. That's it. You know what I mean? These entities, you ain't even call them beings. These entities, they meant to be in this realm. This is where they supposed to be, son. You know what I mean? It's like we was once acting like these entities out here. Then we started realizing that something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right. You be like, I don't even belong here, son. You be feeling like you're too advanced for here. No matter what kind of technological advancement or so-called achievement these people acquire. You be like, man, I don't even belong here, son. Like, this whole realm just seemed off. You know what I mean? It's like everything about this space is just off, son. It's like we fell, you know what I'm saying? It's like motherfuckers done fell into a damn time zone. Like we got knocked off course and just fell, son. Fell into a hell of a lesser realm, son. And you just wake up and you see all of this craziness going on, son. And then you just started participating in it. But then after a while, you know, you just wake up and be like, yo, son, I'm not really a part of none of this, man. Because like all of this stuff that's going on down here doesn't identify who you really are. It doesn't represent who you really are. You're not one of these die-hard individuals that's devoting your life to be a part of this. Whatever it is going on down here, you know what I'm saying? You could actually literally see yourself existing beyond all of this. They can't. They can't. If the system shut down, they immediately go into a state of panic saying, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because the simulation is the foundation of their existence. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't nothing for them to simulate, their lives have no meaning. Let Instagram, Facebook, and you let there be a planetary blackout, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it be a planetary blackout where there's no lights on the whole planet. I don't care where you at. Let it be a planetary blackout for like 7 days. These people will lose their mind, son. These people who are so dependent on technology, son. These people who are always on the gram, who are always on Facebook, Twitter. These people who are always watching TV. These people would die, son. They would literally die, son. They would go crazy. You have some that would go crazy. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be able to sustain with their own thoughts. Because, you know, when they basically engage in these distractions, that is it might sound crazy, but that is a sane way how a crazy person remains stable. As awkward, you know what I'm saying? As awkward as that sounds, because that sounds awkward as hell. But if it wasn't for these distractions known as social media, TV and things like that, media, entertainment, music and all this stuff. Now, ain't no music. What you know I'm talking about is rap, trap, all that other stuff. If it wasn't for none of that, those things is like a sane hub that actually keeps crazy people thoughts stable. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I say when I say it's a sane hub, I don't mean that it is something that's sane in its nature. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like a stabilizing it'll be like a mental stabilizer for people who cannot maintain their own thoughts. In other words, if they didn't have none of this social media, the thoughts that's in their head would literally drive them mad. It would drive them mad. If they had the chance to just sit there and focus on their own thoughts, they would kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? So what they have to do now, they have to focus the thoughts on the media. Because the media is like it stabilizes. It's a sane network that deals with a level of sanity because it stables crazy people thoughts. When the people are interacting with the media and things like that, their unstable thoughts now become stable because it's being manipulated by a network that's sustaining the sanity or the insanity that's in their head. You know what I mean? The insanity. Y'all see what it was when this COVID first hit? You had these people 2 days, not even 2 days, damn 2 hours in the damn house. People going crazy talking about, oh, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. The freak you mean you don't know what to do? You got all that technology in your vessel and you don't know what to do? You got all that neuronic canal network flowing through your brain and you can't conjure up anything? You know what I'm saying? These people don't know how to use their brain. You know what I'm saying? They all got the minds, which is pre-programmed thoughts that's being downloaded into their brain, and they just simulating these airwaves. You know what I mean? But you know, these people, they need the social media, man. The social media will be like a digital drug. See how you got like these physical drugs, whether that be coke, or you got the alcohol, or you got the drugs that you smoke. You know what I'm saying? You got this digital drug out here, son, which is the social media, son. It's like drugs for the mind. You have people that smoke weed because their mind is sick. You know what I'm saying? Because like weed, I already broke down what weed is and all that, but you know, cannabis, the original strand, and then you got marijuana, which was the first genetic manipulation strand. You know what I'm saying? But when you see people, you know, smoking the weed, you know, other than the hippies hijacking their body, pardon, those people are sick. They're mentally sick, son. Because you're only supposed to be taking herbs, you know what I'm saying, to sustain health, or when there's an environment that you live in that has like viruses and all that, and it would actually cause harm onto your vessels. You know what I mean? These people blow trees all day, son. There's not a day that don't go by that they don't blow a tree. You know what I mean? They straight blowing trees. They mind is sick. And if these people don't blow trees, they get aggy. You know what I'm saying? They get aggy because they are now alone with their thoughts. They're alone with their thoughts. And just like they need the weed, these people out here who's crazy, because the majority of the people on the planet are crazy. I don't think that crazy got to do with you locked in some damn asylum. You know what I mean? These people are crazy. Eating pig ass cheeks for breakfast. Aborted fetus from a chicken. You know what I mean? These people literally eat poison, son. Like, think about that for a second, son. Think about that. Only a crazy person would consume poison. You hear these people say things, but it tastes good. That's poison. But it tastes good. They crazy. It's just like if you go up to a crackhead and tell a crackhead, yo, you sitting up here smoking crack. You know that crack is killing you, right? The crackhead will look at you and say, this makes me feel good. Get the F out of my face. Because why? That person is crazy. So you got different degrees of being crazy. You have crazy, obvious crazy, where you could see somebody's crazy because they just look like they stuck their damn tongue in a freaking wall socket. You know what I'm saying? Damn hair look like porcupine. mad discoloration on the face and all that. They just look all effed up. You could identify that level of crazy, that level of sickness. But you have people out here who look casual that are sick. People out here who smoke cigarettes. Like, you smoking a cigarette, you know the cigarette gives you lung cancer. You know it gives you throat cancer. You know it gives you cancer, period. You know the cigarette is poison. You know it's poison. But yet, you smoke it. You're crazy. You're not addicted to it. You're crazy. They told you that you was addicted because it's easier for them to tell you that you are addicted to cigarettes than you're crazy. Because if you ask these people, what would they rather choose? To be called addicted to cigarettes or to be called you're crazy? Like, literally crazy, not even playing around, because people play around and say, yo, you crazy. I'm talking about like literally crazy. You know what I'm saying? These people would rather be called addicted to the cigarette. They would rather be called damn addicted to the cigarette. But these people are crazy. They're not addicted. They're crazy. Crazy people are unstable. Crazy people have been abducted by demons. When you're looking at crazy people, from the casual crazy to the turn up crazy, they all have been abducted by demons. All disembodied entities, spirits that's roaming the planet. They all crazy. You sitting up here drinking poison, eating poison all your life. And you really think you living. You really assume that you sane. That's even more crazy that you get on your hands and knees and pray to a rock that they told you is your Lord and Savior. Do you know how crazy you have to be? Believers are crazy. When you hear people say things that they believe, they crazy. It's different degrees to certain vibrations. You have like the entry level that's so subtle you won't even recognize it. But if you pay close attention, you will be able to identify it. It's like you got low, medium, and high. You know what I'm saying? You got low, medium, and high. So when you go and when I say somebody who go to church is crazy, or when I say somebody who believes is crazy, people look at me and be like, man, what are you talking about, man? How they crazy? You living your whole life in ignorance. That's crazy. The way how you live your life, you're supposed to plan and know. You're supposed to plan and know. That's how you make accurate decisions. You're not supposed to believe. When you believe is basically saying that you out here freestyling. You know what I mean? Or I believe if I mix bleach with ammonia, and drink it, I believe everything is going to be okay. You already know what's going to happen if you do that. You're going to die of poisoning. But you got these people up here smoking cigarettes saying, I'm okay. I could quit when I want to quit. I ain't going to get no cancer. I'm good. I'm going to just keep smoking. I'm good. Yo, I'm good, son. I'm good. You voluntarily smoking poison. But you're good. No, you're sick because you don't have what it takes to make it in life. You know what I'm saying? You don't have what it takes to make it, because to make it is to know. You have to know what life is about. And they fell for the bait. You know what I mean? They fell for the bait. You're supposed to be powering up your lungs. You sitting here robbing your lungs' ability to evolve. These people don't understand that when you evolve, all of your organs evolve with you. There is no evolution without your cellular evolution. You cannot evolve unless your physical body evolves. Everything about your body has to evolve. Your blood, your bones, your brain, your eyes, all of your organs, all of the cells, it have to evolve. How you on the stage of evolving and you sitting up here prohibiting your lungs to evolve by voluntarily flooding it with poisonous fumes? what they would call cigarette smoke. Poisonous fumes. You know what I mean? Poisonous fumes. Anytime you light anything, you are participating in a sacrificial offering. A sacrificial offering, son. Yeah, they give you the matrix term, oh, we just use fire for heat and cooking. Fire is a tool that deals with sacrificial offering. You know what I mean? One of the main purposes of fire, which is a hybrid. Fire is not authentic. It's a hybrid. You know what I mean? And it is a tool that deals with a sacrificial offering. So when these people sitting up here lighting the fire, lighting the cigarette with the fire, and they inhaling those fumes, they are offering themselves up to that deity that's connected to the Newport or whatever brand you smoke. But if you look at the Newport, look at the logo that they use for Newport. If you look at the logo that they use for Newport, you see it's the ring of Saturn. It's a third dimensional ring. It looks like an upside down Nike swoosh. In fact, that deity Nike is another fake god that slayed the bull, that killed the bull. You know what I mean? Those are deities. So you offering yourself up to that deity. When you look at a restaurant like McDonald's and you see that M that looks like an M, it's not really an M. That's basically the sun transitioning, the sun going through the transition that it's going through. You know what I'm saying? A disguised vibration, waves. You know what I'm saying? They even got the 13 encoded in that. You know what I mean? But when you look at a restaurant like McDonald's, like something I stated before, that all these fast food joints is witch stations. And if you consume that food, you are offering a portion of yourself up to that deity, to these archons. That's how you offer yourself. You accept the offering. You are not a willing sacrifice. One of the main reasons they program people to accept Jesus Christ, because Jesus represents the willing sacrifice, the one who's willing to be sacrificed to the gods. You know what I'm saying? To the gods. Straight up. Jesus ain't saved nobody. Jesus is not meant to save any. Jesus died for sin. Who is sin? Sin is an archon. Sin is not necessarily, I'm going to go full all in. Sin ain't something that you commit. You don't commit sin. Sin is an archon. You know what I mean? Realistically speaking, like, you don't commit sin. Sin is an archon. You know what I mean? You have diabolical vibrations that comes from the archon that tempt you or have you doing certain things that they would call as sin, but you're not the sin. The sin is the energy, and the energy comes from the archon, which is Earth, the moon. You know what I mean? So Jesus died for the moon, because he's a moon god. He died for the archons, for the archon energy. You know what I'm saying? So y'all sitting up here talking about y'all praying so you could be so you could not sin. You praying to sin. That's who you praying to. They don't even understand how this game is being played, son. And they never will, because they're the ones who don't have what it takes to connect to the real God. Because when you have what it takes to connect to the real God, you're not being ruled by emotions. You ain't running around here believing. You ain't looking to believe. You're looking to know. Believing and knowing is not synonymous. You're not looking to believe. You're not looking to feel good. You're not looking for some God to make you feel good. You're looking for reality. And reality is beyond feelings. You know what I mean? Straight up. But those are the ones who don't have what it takes to connect to the real God. Just like, looking at the social media. Those people don't have what it takes to accept reality. So they create a fake reality. Like in that movie Minority. Was it Minority Report? I think it was Minority Report. You know what I'm saying? The guy up in the hologram room, and you got all these holograms around him talking about, "Oh, you're so great." Basically giving them compliments, because in the Minority Report world, he was a dweeb. You know what I'm saying? He's a herb. You know what I'm saying? You just can't cut it. But in this digital space, we could create all these holograms and just have these holograms praise you. We could make you feel like you're important. In other words, you know what I mean? That's what social media does. It's a drug. You know what I'm saying? As I stated before, these people say things like the biggest drug on the planet is salt and sugar. Hell no. The biggest drug on the planet is the ego. You know what I mean? Why? Because it's free. You don't have to pay for the ego. The ego is free. You know how everybody love everything that's free. You got to pay for salt and sugar. Salt and sugar ain't got nothing on the ego. The ego is free. You know what I mean? All you got to do is just allow the ego to do what it do. The biggest drug on the planet is the ego. Think about how many times you done bought a blue pair of pants, black sneakers, white sneakers, blue shirt, red shirt, green shirt. How many times you done bought blue hats, red hats, green hats, yellow hats? How many times? You buy all these different fashions. You know what I'm saying? The design, the surface might change. The design, the jacket, the logos on the jacket might change, which is emblems that's linked to archons, these name brands. So we ain't gonna get into that. Buy all these different jackets, all these different pants, sneakers, shirts, whatever it is, hoodies, whatever it is. But what always remains? The colors. The colors don't change. The colors don't change. You know what I'm saying? You got 1,000 blue pants. They alter the surface. Go past the surface, see that you're buying the same thing. The ego. The ego is free. You know what I mean? Release that dopamine. Every time you release that dopamine, it's like a damn defibrillator reviving the ego. Constantly reviving the ego. They know that the dopamine would last way longer than any drug these pharmaceutical companies is creating. They know that dopamine in your head, that your brain release, will last way longer than any drug they creating, son. And they know that. Hallmark, they got a big dopamine holiday coming around the corner, Christmas. You know what I mean? You know how many people right now ready to release their dopamine? These people don't buy gifts because they love you. They buy gifts because they release dopamine when they buy you the gift. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the science behind all this manipulation that's taking place. These people, you got to understand, when somebody so-called love you, and that feeling that they feel, that they feeling, that is dopamine coming from their brain. That feeling that they feeling is not really a connection for you. That's the dopamine. That's the illusion of love. You know, because think about it. These people say things like they love each other and all this and all that, but yet you sitting up here lying to somebody. You lie to people that you love. Why you lying? Oh, I don't want to hurt you. Really? Is it that you don't want to hurt, like they say, I don't want to hurt you? You don't want to hurt them, or you don't want to feel that chemical other than dopamine? You only want to feel the dopamine in your head. Because there's another chemical that's released that's the opposite of dopamine that makes you feel which is dopamine cloaked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people say things, well, I just feel like I need to apologize to you because I don't feel good. Oh, so you only apologizing because You don't feel good. So it's all about the dopamine. You're not apologizing because you really violated. You're apologizing because you can't sleep and you're feeling bad. Eliminate the bad feeling that you was feeling. Would you be apologizing? Hell no. So they only apologize for the dopamine. You know what I mean? The chemical that's being released from the brain. So I say all these relationships out here is fake, man. So I say once you realize what emotions is, man, bruh, the whole world opens up. Hold on for a second. I mean, the whole world, everything opens up, man. It's like you in another dimension, son. You in another dimension. You're like, oh, then you could look at people and see how they being ruled by dopamine, son. How they being ruled by the emotions, bro. You're like, damn, son, that person is an addict. People who talk about they ready to turn up. Oh, I ain't the one. I'm ready to turn up. They an addict. You're looking at somebody who's hooked on dopamine. You know what I mean? They hooked on it, son. They hooked. Dopamine is being released throughout people's vessels 24/7 every day. You know what I mean? It comes a point in time where somebody put the bottle down, put the blunt down, put the cigarette down. You know what I mean? But that dopamine, they wanted to keep going. You know what I mean? They wanted to keep on. Joe, man, I'm about to shut this video down, man. This video getting long. I'm about to more freaking eat. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's all about raising the vibe. Straight up. It's all about raising the vibe, raising the vibe. Understand where you at, man. Are you an addict? Are you in submission to the dopamine?